What's up, guys? Hey, I don't know why, but I just wanted to jump on here and talk about the first step. Talking about the first step in the 12-step fellowship, right? It is something that you've got to get perfectly. It's the only step that you have to get 100%. You have to really, with every fabric in your being, in your heart of hearts, right down here, to know step one and to believe it. And depending on what your hang up is, what your addiction is, it could be drugs, alcohol, sex, food, whatever, right? There's a first step if you work this 12 steps. And so I'll break it down for you. There's two parts of the first step, and it is I'm powerless over blank. I'll just say alcohol. So I'm powerless over alcohol, and that my life has become unmanageable. So the powerless piece is that basically when I pick up that first drink, it sets off a craving inside me that wants to keep going. I want to keep drinking. I want more and more and more. And it's never satisfied. I get drunk, wasted, whatever. And I just want to keep going. That's the first part of it, right? And then the second part is that my life's unmanageable. And that looks different for different people. And, the addiction affects everybody. It's not the man under the bridge, right? It's so much more than that. So, it affects rich, poor, black, white, gay, straight, whatever. It can affect everyone. So just keep that in mind. But our life has become unmanageable, looks different. So everyone's bottoms is different. Like unmanageability might look like I've lost everything, all those consequences, relationships, house, whatever, right? My job, I've lost it all. Or it could look like, well, I just can't pay the bills anymore. Or I just, can't keep a relationship. Or, I can't stop. I can't manage the decision to not pick up again, right? So it's really all over the case. And it could be, an emotional thing. Like I'm just all over the place. I'm not okay with me. And so anyways, that's this first step in a nutshell. But for me, anyways, like I thought that if I just went into rehab, right? This was many, many years ago. If I just go to rehab and, I do the 30-day stay or whatever and do the treatment there, then I'll be good. I'll be cured and I'll never have to pick up again, right? And I thought that, I believed that, and I'm sure my family thought that, but that is not the case. And rehabs are great, but they won't keep you sober. It's a great start, but there's so much more to that. And I found that out the hard way because, like I went in and, which by the way, I want to point this out. I've tried everything. I've tried to get sober and to stay sober. I've tried everything. I've tried geographical moves, moving to different cities, states. I've tried, just going to rehab and not doing anything after it, just going to church, just doing self-help type stuff, therapy, just working out, just working a lot. You name it, I've tried it, right? Before I finally was like, okay, my ass is beat. I'm calling uncle. I'm done. What can I do? I'll work these steps, right? And at that point, I was at step one. I had a step one experience. But I thought just going to rehab would keep me sober. And so fast forward many years of consequences, pain, heartache, etc. I got to a point, like I said, where I was calling uncle. And I look back and a guy came in, I was in treatment, and a guy came in and he did this thing called the stick man, which kind of describes the disease of addiction in a nutshell, right? And so that was the first time that I understood the whole part of this disease. And so like the first thing I understood when I would start, or when I finally picked up, I would keep going and going and going. But what I never could get was that when I'm made to stop, whatever that looks like, I run out of money, or I go to treatment, or whatever, right? I'm made to stop. I didn't understand that I was going to pick up again unless I did something different. I didn't get that part. Like I thought, for many years, and many people think this, right? Is that, like I thought if I just don't pick up, then I'll be good, right? But the problem is I can't just not pick up without treating the disease. So I can't just say no, like Nancy Reagan said, and like a lot of people that don't understand this disease says, why don't you just stop? Why don't you just not pick up? Trust me, for me, and I'm sure millions of other people, if it were that easy, with all the consequences that people suffer around addiction, we would just not pick up. It's not that simple. It's like this. I like to say this analogy is that if I break my arm, right, and I'm being careless, crazy, whatever I'm doing, I break my arm. I go to the doctor, he treats it, he gives me a cast, gives me medicine, he tells me how to take care of my arm, and the arm heals. Does that mean that I will never break my arm again? No, right? It doesn't. Now, if I protect my arm and I, take care of it, treat it or whatever, it gets better, and I just continue to watch out for it, probably won't break it again, right? Same thing with this disease is that when I get sober, and you can get sober, when you get sober, not if, when you get sober, when I get sober, if I take care of this disease and I treat it and I give it the medicine, so for me, it's like a 12-step fellowship, it's church, it's, a connection with a group of people, it's fitness, it's therapy, it's like all this stuff combined. That's what is the best thing for me. And yours might be different, right? Some people don't believe in the 12 steps. Personally, I've never found anything that works like the 12 steps do. But anyways, so I guess, with that being said, I will pick up again unless I do something different. So I have to treat the disease, right? And so that's, like what I hope you take away from this, guys, is that number one, step one is crucial. You have to know step one, or you're probably not going to do the rest of the work that's required, right? So I have to know step one. And two, there's a solution, and it's beautiful. We don't have to live this way anymore. Whatever your disease is, I know if you're in it, it's torture. And so whatever it is, you don't have to live that way anymore. So guys, I hope you have a beautiful weekend. Love you. See you soon. Bye.